Hello, this is my submission for Katamari Forever All Goals. I'm doing post-commentary for it. And so for this category, you actually start from a completed save file, because one thing about this game is that if you complete an objective, you have to wait for the time to run out. And if you exit out of the level, nothing will get saved. So this run's done from a completed save file. Well, it works that for a lot of the objectives, but for the objectives with the king, there's typically a definitive end for most of the missions, so you are able to speedrun those from an empty save, but for some of for most of the Robo King levels, you have to wait for the time to run out after completing the objective for a lot of them, and so there's actually multiple modes you can do. You can use to do the levels. Like there's the Katamari Forever format, which is like typical Katamari, except you can jump and you can also... And there are also Broken Hearts that make it easier to get objects. And there's Katamari Drive, which is what I'm using for most of the levels, that has those. And you also move and you also move a lot more quickly, but you can't charge and roll. It's similar in format to the race mission Wheel of Katamari, but the physics are a little different from that though. And drive mode is what I was using in that level, so that's kind of how the physics are. There's also Eternal that you can get if you get a lot of points, and that just lets you roll around without a time limit. And there's also Classic Katamari, which doesn't give you any Broken Hearts or the ability to jump, and you just play it as you play the original Katamari Damacy, or the original level of that. Most of these levels are remakes of older levels from previous Katamari games, like Katamari Damacy, Wheel of Katamari, and Beautiful Katamari. So that level there was from Beautiful Katamari. And this is actually a unique level, so there's not a Katamari Classic version for this one, just because it's a totally new level. And it actually kind of uses the Broken Heart mechanic to its fullest extent. It's kind of actually a major part of the level. But there's two different types of Broken Hearts. One sucks up things in a large radius, and another kind's like sucks up objects in a smaller radius, but you get to have it for a while. So they're both helpful in their own ways, and so they actually want to get some. So the bigger your Katamari is, the larger radius you'll have. So I want to get objects here, so I'll be able to roll up objects more easily. Oh, it took a while here, wow. But that's kind of how that goes sometimes. But yeah, I at least had a lot of diameter there. And so I intentionally want to get a lot here, because this part can be a little annoying. You're supposed to roll up there, but I'm using drive mode, and it's really hard to do that. It's a lot easier in the Katamari Forever mode. And so I'll need to get to 600 Cosmos to be able to roll up the core of the Robo King. I did the mission in a specific order based on the difficulty of the missions. I took a while here, but it's kind of how this can be sometimes. This level is pretty frustrating. Just because with Katamari Drive mode, it's pretty hard. And those Broken Hearts are like unique. You only start with a minute, but for each Broken Heart, you get an extra minute added onto your timer. So at the end, you'll have, I think, 5 minutes after you get all of them. Yeah, given how it's really easy to fail hot stuff with the Broken Hearts and with Katamari Drive, I do that level first, so it's easy to reset. And that level it's just kind of annoying. Wait, did I get 0 points? Oh no, that was 5. And so that's one of the Robo King missions you can actually complete without waiting on the time limit to run out. But for levels that you have to wait on the time to run out, you just have to exit the level when you hit the goal. Except for levels that, like, for some levels you just need to roll up, like, one of what it's asking you to get, like, for example, like, for the money mission you only need to roll up, like, enough objects to get any money at all, and then, so if those were in the run, you'd have to wait for the time to run after getting one, so those aren't really in the speed run. Those levels can be skipped. And so now we're just doing the tutorial. It's kind of odd to be doing the tutorial as the third level in the run, but that's how I do it. Like, the category allows for doing levels in any order. You just have to complete all the objectives that... And so after you get big enough to... You don't need to actually level up, you just need to hop into... Let the Katamari hop into the Robo King, and you'll be able to complete the level. So yeah, typically I won't be getting a high score. Well, for some of the levels I'll be getting a pretty high score because it's based on how quickly you complete it. For levels that I'll actually be getting rated on, if you quit out of level, you won't really receive a ranking. You'll just automatically go on. Unfortunately, as far as I know, there's no way to, like, have it not autosave, so I'm gonna lose time from... So that kind of loses a little bit of time, so... Hopefully, I'll find a way to sometime. So now we're moving on to missions where I just kinda wait for the time to run out. And there's like a broken heart here, so it can be completed really quickly. Yeah, I just rolled up a few things at first. It took a while to find it, I think. The beginning of this run, I think, was really fast. But I had to save a lot of time later. So yeah, after I get 20 enemies, I can just exit the level. And that level is really quick, just because the broken heart lets me pick up stuff really quickly. And that level is originally from Beautiful Katamari. The tutorial is technically original because it has new stuff, but it's heavily based on Beautiful Katamari. And also you can change the filter of how it looks, so that's pretty neat. They can have like a wood texture or a comic book texture or just the Katamari Forever texture. Except in the classic version of the levels, you just have to play with the classic filter. So it's really cool that you can do stuff like that. So in Beautiful Katamari, like, there's a kind of annoying thing where you have to wait on levels to load. After you get to a certain size, you need to, like, you'll be getting less diameter waiting on it to load. But this doesn't have that problem, so these levels tend to move a lot more quickly than their Beautiful Katamari counterparts. I think this run's just a pretty cool showcase of, like, an abridged version of Katamari Damacy. All the Katamari Damacy games in just about an hour, so that's pretty neat. So that's that level. And having drive mode just makes this run move so quickly. And so now we're going to the underwater mission. I'll kind of just want to be getting the Broken Heart pretty quickly, I think. I want to get to like 36 centimeters here, I think. Oh, heck, I even got hurt by that. Like, I got hurt by the fish hook. Like, it grabbed me, so that lost a little time. That's something that can also happen in Wheel of Katamari that this is based on, but it's not as punishing in this game because you can move really quickly and and you have a lot of acceleration. So it's not that it doesn't take that long to recover. Like having drive mode also just makes you get to the sides a lot more quickly, but they do give you way less time as a result. So when you're playing it first, drive mode can actually be pretty hard to complete. You can only play drive mode after beating the original Katamari Forever levels, which is why you need to play on a completed save file, as well as that you have to wait on it to time to run out. It's probably one of the hard levels to complete at first because you normally get in Katamari Dynasty you get 10 minutes to beat this mission, but here you only get 3. And so if you don't know the route for this, I could see this can be really hard. But luckily I know how to complete it, so it can be done in like a minute or so. Like knowing how to move with drive mode and the general route is really helpful. And also some of the routes also differ from how Katamari Dynasty works just because of the broken hearts. And also like a lot of the barriers that guard you, that prevent you from going unless you're above a certain size, don't give a lot of size in Katamari Dynasty, but they do here, so that can also be taken into account. It's definitely the most prevalent later. But it's also shown here a little bit in this level. Like the 50 centimeter barrier in particular in this level gives a lot, even though it didn't in Katamari Dynasty. Right there, they actually give how much you'd expect a 50 centimeter object to give you, even though they don't really give any in Katamari Dynasty. Which I feel is probably an oversight, but still. Because it's kind of neat how it varies a little bit. And it allows for a lot of different routing. In general, I feel the broken hearts in this game really help with giving interesting routing. And so this level is based on Wheel of Katamari. And you just get the broken heart at first and you get to 20 really quickly. And with drive mode, you'll just inevitably be getting hit around some, but that's fine. I took one of the 20, I guess. So. Yeah, the time limit's like way lower for most of these levels. You can only get 5 minutes here, and you got 10 in Katamari, in Wheel of Katamari. It's like you move a lot faster, but the difficulty's appropriately increased to account for that. And a lot of the movement here is also pretty precise. It's not as precise here, but like in Megastar 4, it's a little hard to get all the things you need. Or Megastar 7 in this. Megastar 4 and Katamari Dynasty. Just need to get 3 meters in. It's pretty quick. Oh, I forgot to get those. I wasn't... Katamari Dynasty, or Wheel of Katamari, probably the game I played the most, but when I did this, I didn't remember the route as well, so that took a little bit. I didn't know I need to get some launches that I need to get. After you get to near 50, it's pretty quick to get 3 meters. Like a lot of objects give a lot of size. That's that level. Okay, this is a level that spectacally I think is the neatest. Because you can get size really quickly here. So I want to get those to make it easier to get the pineapple, which I don't always end up getting, but I think I did that time. Cool. You get size really quickly in this level. And this is from Beautiful Katamari, but it progresses a lot more quickly just with drive mode and being able to roll around everywhere. And with Broken Heart, you can get size really quickly at this part. Like, you get 10 minutes, but in the original, in like Beautiful Katamari, you can beat this in like 1 minute and 30 in this game. Like, typically I think the most helpful of the Broken Hearts is the one that is a smaller race, but you get a longer time with it. It's just because if you wrap those in properly, they can kind of break the levels and just make certain parts like really fast. This one is a little hard to get, but it's also really helpful. It just like totally trivializes that part. Like, the physics with this game can make it a little hard to get some stuff still. And so now we're going to Make a Star 10. This is from Katamari Damacy, Make a Star 8. You only get 7 minutes in this one when you got 18 in Katamari Damacy, so I think in general, like, the Katamari Damacy levels were levels that had the amount of time you get decreased the most, because that was generally the hardest game to move around in. And like, it was really strict if you got stuck on stuff in that game, but the physics here are a lot more forgiving. So this has really particular routing. Like, I want to get to about 19.5 and I'll be able to get the objects really quickly. I think here I learned that, you can get some objects around there. I think it was when I was doing an IO I remembered how to do that. But that was after I did this run. But this was still pretty quick. This is probably one of my favorite levels to run, just because it's pretty neat. And it's just so fast-paced with stuff. I guess that all levels are like that, so that's not unique to this level, but still. I think it was actually a little bit low on size. It want to be like 1 meter 8 from getting to the garden plants coming up. Oh, I wasn't big enough. I missed some objects. It can be really easy to accidentally miss objects with this, so kind of got to improvise with things. Here I can just jump here and get the sleeping woman there, and with the cart, I don't think you're normally able to do that, but I like to call that trick the girl jump. But this level went pretty well. Like, a lot of rats are pretty similar from Katamari Damacy with some modifications. Like, the 1.5 meter guardrail gave a lot of size, so that helped with making this section a lot quicker. 5 meter guardrail also gives quite a bit, so I kind of forgot it in this run. I got a few of them. It's not necessary because you can get to the size you need to get to pretty quickly. You need to get to 8 meters too here to get those, and then just go around. I think I wasn't quite big enough though. Ideally you'd be able to get the cherry trees, but I don't think I was quite big enough to do that, so this part was a little slower. I still had to actually Like when you get 12 meters just right without getting stuck there. That was a little smarter than usual. So now we're moving on to make star 11. This is from Wheel of Katamari. It's the final normal level in Wheel of Katamari. Well, the final level where the goal is just to get to the to a certain size. There were a lot of different level types in that game. Yeah, the routing is very slightly different because objects give different amounts of size, give different sizes compared to Wheel of Katamari, so it kind of changes how you do the routing a little bit. And also just the Broken Heart hat changes it quite a bit. I don't want to slice any dice, so I think I do this. So I just need to get some control for to get those, and then you get the Broken Heart in a little bit. And there's like some carousels that you normally get in the Wheel of Katamari route for this stage, but those barely give any size in this game, so it's not really worth it to get those. So I just want to get to about 12 meters and then get the Broken Heart. It's like kind of a lot of different things you can do. I guess I waited till 15 in this run. That actually works too. I tried a new route where I try to get to 32 meters to get the buildings here. That does work, but you have to have a lot of objects to do that, so it takes a little bit. So now I don't really think that route is the fastest. But it does let you just move directly here, so it helps with that. When you go around to try to get big enough to get all this, don't have to do that right there. So this is kind of a game that I don't there are a lot of different routes you can take. I have to get to 130. This is a lot, just the same as Wheel of Katamari. You just move it in this way. And so I want to wait till I'm pretty close to 300 before I get the Broken Heart here. It makes it a lot easier to get a lot of objects at this point. And also the size you need to get to is a kilometer instead of 500 meters, so that's it make it easy to accidentally quit out even though you didn't hit the goal. Well, that didn't happen here, but that's a thing that can happen. But I know that's a kilometer, so I can just quit out then. It's not, doesn't take that long at all to get to a kilometer for 500, luckily. Because there's a lot of stuff around there that you need to be about 500 meters to pick up. Oh yeah, this is Make the Moon from Katamari Damacy. This had a pretty significant, decrease in the amount of time you get as well. You get 10 minutes instead of 25. And this is one of those where I say the routing changes pretty significantly because you can't get as much size from objects. Like in Katamari Damacy, the deaths give a lot of size, but here they don't give as much. Oh, I didn't have enough to get those. So I'll need to go back and get a Broken Heart that if I played the Katamari Damacy route, I wouldn't get. And I could be wrong, but I don't think the Katamari Classic changes how much size you get from the objects, so yeah, it just kind of changes how the physics are and stuff. I honestly don't remember that. Yeah, I kind of want to get that just to get to the size I would want to be at. And then get some of flag buoys to get to 3 meters. And here the lap route's pretty similar. Driving makes this part a lot better, or just being able to jump makes that part a lot better. You only have to like roll up, and it takes a little bit, but there you can just jump up. That's a really fun addition, in my opinion. There were just a lot of fun additions to this game. There's also a Katamari Forever mode that can be run, but that, like where you have to use Katamari Forever mode for every stage, but that's kind of quite a bit longer just because there's a lot of content in this game. Imagine that a good run probably about 125 or 130 or so, like an optimal run. But this can be done in less than an hour or so. I haven't really run the Katamari Forever category that much, or any. I've done a few ILs, but so. Yeah, this route is really similar to Katamari Damacy. So I think that'd be like about 50 things. Might be able to pick up the balloons. It's hard to be big enough to get everything here though. Let's break heart, let you go pretty quickly. So have to get pretty big damage coming into this part. Getting close to 200 meters. And after getting to 200, it's pretty quick because now I can start getting clouds. I'll still get a few of these islands. Yeah, after 200, you can start getting clouds. And normally I don't get them, but I think that you can jump in this game. So that's actually the fastest route for this. Just jump and get clouds to get to the total car size. And after today, you can just get some islands and you'll be finished. So we're doing a sprinkler mission. Oh, you can also just go before you... Like, right as it's finished loading, you gain control, so you can just automatically go without waiting on the King's dialogue. And here you need to water the field. And as you're doing it, you'll get lower on water, so you'll need to go and refill it. There's also different pools of water you can unveil, but that doesn't really come up in this mode in particular. You just need to get to 800 meters square filled in, and then you can exit the level. And those tufts, you kind of want to avoid those because it makes it take a little bit, and you just jump up. And menuing is impossible. So now we're doing the racing mission. Oh yeah, this level, like, it's like if you do, this is like the level where normally you like do it in driving format, and if you do that in drive mode, it just moves even faster. So it's pretty much impossible to control yourself. So I kind of just take what I can get in this level, honestly, because it's impossible to really consistently do anything. You just kind of move around too quickly to do that. But the steps sort of do help you control yourself, but it's hard to even get on those. There are some things you can do consistently, like after you get to 290, you'll be able to get a certain set of things that help. But it's still hard to even get those. And this level, this is honestly what I would consider a pretty good level in PvP. And there's a broken heart there, but it's not really consistent to get. You can get it, and it helps, but it's not really a reliable strat. And there's really not really many things that are reliable strats in this level in general. But that's on meter, so I can exit. I'd love to see like a task of this game that try to do it really quickly. Of that level, that it would be so cool to see the most optimal time for that level. Yeah, this is actually one of the DLC levels from Beautiful Katamari. Beautiful Katamari had some DLC that you can get, and this was on one of the levels from it. You just have to roll around till 3,000 meters, then you'll start rolling up continents. Or till you're 3 kilometers, then you need to roll continents till 3,000 kilometers. Yeah, this game generally had a lot of the DLC from Beautiful Katamari, so that's really neat. Even though this is kind of a rehash of old Katamari games, I think there's definitely enough new stuff and general content here that it's worth it. Yay, 3,000. Maybe the last Robo King level? Yeah, so now we're just moving on to the King's levels. The general story of this game is that the king was struck by a star or a meteor or something, and fell asleep. So you build a Robo King, and then you wake the king up. Try to wake the king up by doing stuff. And you also need to help the Robo King because I'm honestly not sure he wants you to, I guess. But yeah, you just need to get to meter 30 here and then roll up the twins. Roll up like Hansel and Gretel. But yeah, here I'll sometimes be getting good scores, but also I'll sometimes just not be getting good scores because some levels are based on how quickly you do them and others are based on how you do ways. Like in how quickly you go, and others are based on size. Or how many of the collectibles you get, and you don't really focus on getting a lot of them in all of the levels. So the cleanup mission is just for how fast you go, is what it's based on, so typically speedruns do well there, and that's actually the objective. I have to be white just because, I don't know, I'm scared. And so this is from Wheel of Katamari, but it's a lot quicker here just because I'm using draft mode and and there's Broken Heart. Typically a good time in Wheel of Katamari is about 55 seconds, but here I can complete it in less than 30 with a bladed run. There it was about 35, but that's still really good. I think that's enough for 120 points, which is the most you can get. I think for most of the like the unlockables, you only need 100 points, but getting 120 is always cool. That's just means you did it even better than getting 100. Oh, so this is a level where the objective is really easy, but you still do it because you go to the results screen after completing it. So this is still something you do in the run. So you just need to collect any Cower Bear and bam, you're done. When you're playing casually, that level is one of the more frustrating levels because it's really easy to accidentally pick up a Cower Bear, and you have to exit the level after doing that. And so rolling up the Cow Bear, especially in Katamari Drive mode, is incredibly challenging. Honestly, it's not the most annoying level, though, I would say, just because there's a level coming up in this game that, in my opinion, is even more annoying. If you're trying to get the max score, it's probably fine for, like, just trying to go fast. Oh, I picked up the menu. I mean, that's always the hardest part of runs. And so here all I need to do is get to 1.50 m, so I want to get the Broken Heart that's behind the waterfall, and that'll help me get a lot more diameter quickly. So I'm at 1.50, so now I can just go here, and I guess one thing with run mode is that you typically have to wait on. You actually move faster than the objects get magnetized to you, so you sometimes have to wait a little bit on them, so that can take a little bit. It's not that long of a level. It may have been about this time I'm wrong that, I don't know. One thing that can happen is that if you get a trophy, it'll spend a little bit updating your trophy information, so you can actually lose time by getting trophies in this run. And I don't think I have all the trophies yet in this game, so that's actually something that can happen, so that can be a little frustrating. Alright, this mission. This first part can be a little tricky. You need to get to about 65 kilograms. You need to just roll up food till you're 290 kilograms. I think it's 293 to pick up the sumo wrestler that's there. Or you'll make him fall, so that's what you're trying to do here. Otherwise, you'll just get flung away, and you'll fail the mission if you're not at least 293 kilograms, I think it is. So getting that really helps, the Broken Heart there. You can get food really quickly. So this is a pretty fun mission to do in Grab mode. And that cake also really helps, so you'll be at 311. The size you need to be to pick up the objects is generally, like, proportional to how big you need to be to roll them up with Katamari. Like, 300 kilograms is equivalent to 3 meters, and 250 is equivalent to 2 meters and 50 centimeters, so it kind of just works in the same way. And it's easy to get flung around, but luckily, this game isn't as punishing if you get flung around a lot, just because you can pick up you have really good acceleration. But you also do get flung really quickly in opposite direction if you hit an object, so that can be kind of annoying. Okay, yeah, this mission is probably what I would consider the most annoying mission to try to do well on. In this mission, you don't even have a time limit, but you have to pick up you have to make a space station with 300,000 yen, and the object you pick up is how much money that object will cost. And so when you're trying to do well, you want to pick up like cheap objects, but when you're trying to do it quickly, you want to just get big and then get really expensive objects to end level quickly. So like I want to get like the gold bar there, that'll. So like the goal is to get as many items as you can. So, and in drive mode, it is just a really hard thing to do to do well on this, because it's so easy to accidentally get objects you don't want. There's kind of a specific route that helps, but still. This is one of the missions I still haven't ever really done well on, just because doing it to do well is actually a pretty long process, and I haven't ever really felt like doing that. I just only play to end it quickly. and just deal with the king yelling at me. Oh, and that's also another one of the DLC levels from Beautiful Katamari. That mission I was just doing. And this is from We Love Katamari. It's like the as fast as possible variant of the school mission in Beautiful Katamari, or We Love Katamari. And here we're just trying to roll up all the students. And I'm just like having the King's dialogue on there while I'm rolling up. And just not even paying attention to him because, yeah, I just don't really like doing that. And so when I roll through all those rooms, it's fast to get the broken hearts. And then just clear out the students I missed. And after I get that big, I can roll up the blackboards, and that's when the level starts moving pretty quickly. And this is the thing that can happen. You can just have a few students you missed, and they can be really hard to find. So that mission can be a little bit tricky. That went pretty well, though. I've done that in less than 40 seconds, but 47 is still really good. So we're pretty close to the end of the run. There's only maybe about 6-7 levels left. This is definitely like the densest speedrun. There are like some like cutscenes and stuff that take some time, but generally there's just a lot of content with this. So now we're gonna do like the camp mission. This is like a remake of the camp mission, the medium camp mission. So we need to get from Wheel Katamari. So we need to get to 3 meters, and this is the mission that I can actually fail if I either go too long without picking up objects or fall in the water. Going too long without picking up objects isn't as big of a worry as in Wheel Katamari, but it's definitely easy to accidentally fall in the water with drive mode, so I have to be careful. This is definitely one of the more stressful missions, because like failing makes me redo it. And loading isn't that long to redo it, but it still is not a thing I want to have happen. I think for this run I wasn't fully sure of what to do. This can be done a lot faster. But yeah, I just kind of decided to get the broken heart here. This is like one that just sucks up within a big radius. But a lot of the objects there I wasn't actually big enough to pick up, so it didn't help as much as it could have. I do need to be over 2 meters 54 so you can get the garden plant from that one. Hey, you get to him with a great music though. So I'm just almost at 2 meters now, so I can like roll around the circumference and try to get a lot of these the guardrails here. They speed up quite a bit. I have to be careful about the water though. That's kind of always an eternal worry when I'm playing this level. I have a better idea of the rat now though, so it should go a lot quicker in future runs. Just a lot of routing to keep track of with this. Like, that can be done in less than 1 minute and 30. It's really good, Brian. Okay, this level, you have to like get 50 objects, and when you're playing to do well, this is you want to intentionally avoid getting small objects, but for the speedrun, you want to just get 50 objects as quickly as you can. And so I want to be getting the broken heart, but it's a little bit precise to get, so it took a little bit in this run for me to get it. Like, the hitbox for the broken heart is really small, so it can sometimes be a little tricky to get it. But it'll suck up objects in a small radius for about 10 or so seconds. So I'll want to get that, and then it's like really easy to get all the objects. So now we're doing the snowman mission. This is a pretty simple level. You just need to roll to the snowball, and there's not even a time limit, so it's not that bad. And you're pretty close to the snowball when you start. And also, this is a level where no matter how big you get the snowball, you'll get the same score. You also get a little bit of size from just rolling around the snow, so that doesn't really come up in this run, but that's a thing that happens. So you start with 50 centimeters, I think, and I got like 3 centimeters, 9 millimeters there from the snow there. And you always get 100 points no matter how you do. I don't think 120 is possible on this mission, just because it always gives you 100. But that's a pretty simple mission for speedruns. Also, in this game, you always start from the same location. That's from Wheel of Katamari, and in Wheel of Katamari, you start from a random location, so there is a little bit of luck to that. And there I didn't go to the direct next option from the snowman in the menu, because that was the hot stuff mission, which I did at the very beginning of the run. And so this, I just need to get to 10 centimeters and then call the king. I wasn't big enough to pick this up. The object here is random, so I thought I'd be big enough, but I wasn't, and now I just need to get big enough to get these, so this actually took a little bit. And if you call the king before you're 10 centimeters, he'll just yell at you. that it's not even close to big enough. But if you're 10 centimeters over, you'll be able to just exit the mission. The typical objective of this level is just to correctly guess when you're at 20 centimeters, 20 millimeters, or yeah, centimeters. And you can do that kind of just based on the objects that you're able to pick up, but for the speed run, you just need to get to 10 centimeters. And there's like 3 different variants you do in this run. You need to do like the small, medium, and large, but they're not really that long. Kind of a point of downtime, probably a good time for like donations or something to say. Because there's kind of not a lot to this. There is a little routing to it, just because you have to get to a certain size, and that does require playing the level a little bit. But there's not much back to it. I just need to get that, then get to the Broken Heart. But a majority of the next minute or so is just menuing. So now I'm going to be doing like the large variant. This is probably the shortest level because you just need to get to 25 meters, and I think you start some like 20 meters at the beginning, so it doesn't take long at all to get to 25 meters from the beginning. You just need to roll up like a few buildings and you'll be big enough. So I'm just able to do it there. I don't know what size I got to there. I think it's the minimum is 25 meters, so I may have actually done that a little bit too late. Like later than would be optimal. 2573, so I was like 73 bigger than I needed today. So I think now there's only like 2 more missions left. Two or 3, I guess. Okay, yeah, this is the dream mission, so I did the mission in specific order because time runs out after completing the last objective, and doing it after I complete, and having the last level be the level that was before this in the menu is faster because this doesn't have a dialogue box after the level, so it's a little quicker to do this. And also, I feel like it's more thematically appropriate to have the level before this in the menu be the last level because it's the level that you get the biggest on. Here you just need to roll up dreams, and you need to get to 300 to exit the level. So I just want to focus on jumping and getting the dreams that are there. Because those give the most diameter. It doesn't show your diameter, but that's how it works. But after you get enough diameter, you can just roll the dreams really quickly. If you get 300... Oh, it took a little bit to get to 300, but that's what I need to do there. And so this is the last level, and for this level I'll probably have like a donation incentive to choose the music for it, because you can choose the music if you've completed the game, so I'll probably have something like that. I guess I could also have a donation incentive for the filter I use. You only get 7 minutes here, but it's not that bad because you can get... This level moves really, really quickly. And this level is still only about 4 or so minutes long. You do get 2 extra minutes after getting to 10,000 kilometers, so that helps. And you need to wake up the king, and that requires like 1.1 million kilometers, so. So even though it says 10,000 kilometers, that's not actually the goal. And this isn't really the fastest route, but I don't know what happens. It isn't the biggest time loss. It is just kind of a fun level to go through. Because it just moves quickly. We're already at 60 meters. So just get that, and now I need to get to 100, which I'm well over. And get all these. I need to get to 300 meters now. I can just get all these. And I just need to roll up around here till 3 kilometers. And this is from Beautiful Katamari. It's the final level in Beautiful Katamari. And this is the level that like wakes up the king. And so after you get 3,000, you'll start rolling around the earth and getting. So the way to start, that's the best start, is to get the islands around, like all the mountains around here. Until you get to about 3,000, and they're all around the same place, so that helps. Well, and the Syrian names. They also help, like, just around this area is the best place to be for now. And this is another level this is a level that's actually easier depending on how much of the sky you've done. You filmed. I mean, you've done a lot of levels. You have a lot of stuff in the sky, so it becomes a lot easier. And also, I think making Stardust helps too. Helps you get precise, so just playing the game a lot helps with making this quicker. It's not shown yet, but after I get to 10,000 kilometers, it'll become more apparent. Like, this part's just the same no matter what. And then I can get a lot of islands after I get to about 6,500 down. I need to get to 10k. There we go. And I can just, like, roll up all the Stardust. Like, bright, shining stars. So after I get to 1.1 million, or 1.1 million kilometers, I need to find the king and wake him up by rolling him up. And this song is like just a remix of a song of Katamari on the Funk from Me and My Katamari for PSP. So this game did like a lot of. It kind of just is a remake of all the previous Katamari games. It doesn't have any Me and My Katamari levels, but like it has some music from it. I don't think Me and My Katamari really has that much music though, so it just makes sure to use that track. But yeah, that's the end of that run. So that's Katamari Forever, all goals, and so thanks for watching.